Hi everybody and welcome back to another simple tutorial. I'm Rachel Merrick, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Southeast Queensland in Australia. Today we're going to be making a simple box. I did have a couple of these feature on my blog, so I thought it might be a good idea to try showing you how to do one. I'm also going to show you a quick tip on how to colour the seam binding ribbon that Stampin' Up has so that it's customised to whatever colours that you are using in your project. So today I've got two square pieces of cardstock. They're both measuring 5.5 inches square, and I'm going to score them using our trimmer with the scoring tool, and I'm going to score them at 1 inch, and there is a marker on the right hand side for that, and I'll just go through and score them on all 4 sides. A little tip when you're making these boxes, because they're both the same size, you want one to be slightly bigger than the other, and that's really tricky so that it's not to the point that it's too loose. So all I do is when I am putting it on to score one of them, I will just make sure that it's just slightly off that 1 inch mark. Of course, you can use any size cardstock for this, and you can make the 1 inch, which is going to be the height of your box, any size you like as well. The finished box for this one will actually be 3.5 inches square. And you're going to see that we're going to use some Designer Series paper, just lay it on top really simply to finish off this box. Now that I've scored both pieces of the pink cardstock, I am going to use my bone folder and I'm going to fold all 4 sides of both pieces, and I'm going to burnish them with my bone folder so that they get a crisp edge. It's really important to use a bone folder or something that's quite hard to do this. Otherwise, sometimes you will end up with a bit of a wonky project. This just ensures that the edges are nice and clean, and that everything sort of stays aligned when you go to construct the box. I will be using the white adhesive that Stampin' Up sells as well. It's a multi-adhesive. The white glue is super strong and really fast drying as well. You're going to need to clip all 4 corners of your cardstock. So that means just going along those lines up to the scored section, and you're just going to trim just the tiniest little piece out so it makes a triangle as well onto these tab sections on the outside. You do it on both sides so that you end up with all of your tabs that you're going to actually fold in and make the box itself. So you can see here I'm doing it on all 4 sides on the first piece of cardstock. I'm going to repeat it again on the second piece of cardstock. This little box is super handy if you need something to throw some chocolates or a pair of earrings or some sort of small gift. It's surprising actually what they will hold. A couple of little snack size chocolates definitely go into these. I did do a post over on my blog a week or 2 ago, and I actually cut a hole out of the top section of the box and put some acetate on it, and had a donut inside. So a Krispy Kreme donut. My husband was really happy when he came home and found that on his computer waiting for him. So just kind of nice little treat. And because these boxes really do speak for themselves, they don't require a lot of embellishment. You can, like I'm going to do, put some Designer Series paper which jazzes it up very quickly on the top. Some of the ones I have made, I've done little strips along the edges of the top box as well, just to make it look even prettier. Of course, one of my favourite techniques is using Versamark ink and doing a watermark image using a stamp set, and that's always a nice way of adding a bit of extra detail onto your box. So when you put the adhesive on, just hold on to just for a second on the corner, lining those edges right up so it's a nice crisp square box. and you're going to repeat it with the second one as well. On the second one, you can see this is kind of the way I normally do it. I would normally put it down and do 2 tabs at once. Not that it takes a lot of extra time, but it's just the way that I've always done it. You can use tear and tape with these if you would prefer. Tear and tape from Stampin' Up is quite strong, but I do find in this case the glue is strong enough and it's a lot quicker than fiddling around with peeling off paper and things. Once you have glued everything together, just have a go at fitting your box. Like I said, one of them will be slightly larger, like very, very marginally, and you'll be able to fit them inside each other. You can have them either completely down one on top of the other, or if what's inside is a little bit bigger, it will sit up quite nicely. I've cut my designer series paper just slightly smaller, so it is at 3 1/4 inch square, and I'm just going to adhere that to the top as well. This is one of our foiled designer series paper. Very, very pretty, and it mimics alcohol ink images on it. So it really did shine and speak for itself. Like I said, you can do the edges, but I've left these ones blank for now. Now, my little tip for creating embellishments that match your project is I am using the dark pale papaya in our stamping blends, and I use the brush end, and you'll see I'm just going to hold on to it and put my thumb between it and pull so that it sort of colours it, and you'll find it's actually not dark at all. I actually will go over this a few times to make sure that the pale papaya is a nice bright colour, very similar to what is in the designer series paper. And it's a combination that I actually would not have thought of, this sort of orangey apricot-y colour and that real fuchsia type of pink. I will list all of the colours and what I have used today down below. I can use any of this ribbon. It dries super fast, being alcohol ink. You can see so one roll of ribbon will do lots and lots of projects. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's a seam binding ribbon, so it's fairly flexible. The alcohol ink does actually make it a little stiffer, but it's still workable. You'll see in a minute I'll give it a go at doing a bow. Ordinarily I would add a little tag or a very small gift card to the top of a box just to embellish it a bit more. Tying a bow with this is actually super simple. You just have to fiddle with it, and I'm terrible at bows. It's something I really do need to work on and find a couple of ways of doing really pretty bows. However, look, for a gift, it really doesn't matter. You'll see that I actually pull this apart in a second, and I end up going with it, and I will probably add a tag later on for the recipient. I like to have a couple of these in the cupboard, but some in more of those female type of colours and some in those more, neutral or male sort of orientated. It's a simple thing to say thank you or happy birthday to somebody by literally throwing in some lollies or stuff. I just want to mention very quickly that currently we have a 15% off designer series paper sale for Stampin' Up. You can see on this flyer here, there are several sets that are included in that. The one that I've used today isn't. However, the new one that I am currently obsessing over, A Sweet as a Peach, or from the Peach Suite, is very, very pretty, and it uses that balmy blue and the pale papaya and some pretty greens, and it makes a beautiful set. So just wanted to mention that as well. If you need something like that and you are thinking, please just contact me and I will set you up with a catalogue, etc. So thanks for joining me. As always, happy stamping, everybody.